Hey guys, Kurt here of NK Garage, and we're back with another flea market tool haul. And today we found a lot more rusty stuff again. And I'll say it every time. I love the rusty stuff because a lot of times you can get it for a really good price, and you'll be surprised at how some of this stuff cleans up. You won't see that today, but coming this winter, we're going to be doing some restorations. We're going to try it out. So if we're any good at it, you'll see some videos on us cleaning up maybe some of these tools. So let's jump into it. Let's take a look at the tools. Let's see what we got. Starting all the way on the end, got a giant auto wrench. I've never heard of this brand before, but this wrench was just so big that I just needed to have it. It's Coase. It's marked L Coase. It's got a patent date, 1880. And on this side, it says Coase Wrench Company, Worcester, Massachusetts. It's not perfect, but obviously this tool is an antique. 100 years old or something. I don't know how long it was made after the patent date in the late 1800s. But this thing is quite a big unit. And everything works good. It opens up. I tested it at the flea market. I'm not going to go all the way today, but it does function. The handle definitely has some cracks in it. Somebody put this electrical tape on here at one point. But if we do get around to restoring it, we'll open that up at that time and see what we can do with it. Next up, I got this Armstrong number 4.5 giant alligator wrench. I don't pick up too many alligator wrenches. A lot of times I find people are kind of overpriced with these things. This guy had this one at 25 bucks, and he also had this other little alligator wrench down here, number 2. So I told him, how about both for 25? And he said yes. And other than some grease, grime, dirt, and dust, he's actually in pretty good shape. I saw one last week at the flea market. It was $10, but same size, and it was cracked here, and somebody welded it. And they didn't even do a good job welding it. It was the alignment was way off. So I left that one behind, even though $10 was tempting. The number 2 is not an Armstrong. It is a Roebling Crenton, something like that, made in New Jersey. You guys know more? Leave it in the comments below. But the 2 for 25 I thought was a pretty good price. Call it $5 and 20 bucks. Next up, we got a Williams super adjustable 18-inch. Somebody painted it black. They thought they were doing a restoration. And that might be fine for them, but that's not good enough for me. So eventually I'm going to task myself to get all this paint off of here and give it a proper treatment. Everything works fine. The jaws aren't too bad. Screw works well. Somebody did grease it, so they tried to take care of it. There's some kind of stamped marking on here. This might have belonged to some kind of company or something at one point, and that was their inventory number or something along the lines. But yeah, J.H. Williams, 18-inch. I don't see too many 18 inches. I got this for $20. I can't remember if I negotiated that down or not. Something around 20 bucks. I remember that's what he was asking. Crescent Tool Company, Jamestown, New York, 15-inch adjustable. This one, the guy was also at 20 bucks, and I tried to negotiate with him. I was trying to get it more for 15. He was not negotiable, but I kind of had to have it, so I did pay the $20 for that one. Next up, we have a Dasco 314. I'll call it a nail puller. Some people might call them tongs, end nippers. I don't think at this size you're using it for end nipping. I think we're using it as something else, but I'm not an expert on these kind of tools, but I thought it was cool. Dasco is a great brand. It's number 314. Overall condition is just kind of greasy, grimy. Not bad. I think I only paid $1 for that one. Got this Husky ratchet, an old one. USA made, of course. Got the fun selector here. This actually works really nice. It's actually in great condition. It's got some little S stamp in here, SDF, something like the SDI. Good functioning order. Definitely very old, nearing to antique age. And I paid $8 for that guy. 1/2-inch drive. Small little pipe wrench. I've only been picking up the small ones these days because the big ones just haven't been moving and I don't need any more myself. But this was probably on one of the bargain tables for $1. JP Danielson Company, Jamestown, New York, something like that. It's a little 8-inch. Overall condition is just dirty and a little bit of surface rust. It's really not bad at all. Spoke shave. This is a Stanley. Camera probably will not pick it up, but it has that curved Stanley logo here. So it kind of curves up like this, kind of a convex curve in the name. If you guys kind of have more of an accurate date based, I know that can help you date these tools. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you know about this. Gonna definitely need to be cleaned up and restored, but that was $2. We got a little C-clamp here, Brinking Cotton. I like the Brinking Cotton clamps, so I picked this one up. It's number 143. Got a couple more adjustables down here. 708-S Proto. I love the Proto wrenches. They make excellent users. Doesn't matter their age. This one here is a Pexto. I believe that's one I haven't had before, so that's a keeper for the USA Adjustable Wrench Collection. Trying to get all the brands, and every time I find more. So it's been fun. The Crescent 6-inch here. Nice little Crescent. I like these black oxide finish compared to the chrome. I do like them both, but I kind of prefer the black oxide, to be honest. And another 6-inch chrome Crescent. And then we got this little oil pumper here. It's number 33, Eagle. So this is guaranteed for 5 years, but I'm sure these last a lot longer than 5 years. I haven't tested it, but everything feels good. Inside, extremely, extremely clean. You do have to check that. If you're ever going to buy these, open them up and see what it looks like inside, because depending on what somebody kept in here, the inside can really get bad, and you don't want to get home and it looked good on the outside, but on the inside maybe they had some water in there and it could be a whole rusty mess and you just wasted your money. So that is a good tip. I always check the insides on them, and that one was very nice inside. Let's check out some pliers. Start off up here. I got a pair of Utica Lyman's pliers, 7-inch Lyman's pliers. This one I went to clean up for the video, and it had that laser etched logo, and it literally came right off. It had the 3-diamond Utica logo, so the authenticity factor of this is gone. But if you look at those, nippers here, diagonal cutters, these are very, very nice, barely used. So this will be probably a user. Probably put that in one of our toolkits or something. Great pair of pliers. Next up, older Crowder pliers, 7-inch. Got the wide head here. Somebody put their own little unique mark on it. Condition on this one isn't as great as some of the others, but I am a Crowder fan, so I haven't seen this exact one before. Kind of just was tempted to pick it up. And a lot of times, most of these pliers I pay $1. Sometimes I'll pay $2, $3 to $4, but that's dependent on condition. So some sellers are more expensive. These Utica ones, I think I paid more in the $4 range, but some of these guys is more at $1. Utica slip joint pliers, 7-8. Got a larger slip joint pliers. It's Barkalow Buffalo. And I don't know if this paint on here, this like silver paint, was somebody trying to restore it over the years, or if that's how they came. I really don't know. Next row, we got a pair of Utica needle nose pliers. Somebody put their own little stuff on here. I don't know if that's solder or what. Maybe that'll just, if it's solder, maybe I can just chip that right off. Williams needle nose pliers. Williams pliers I don't find too often, so it kind of was a cool find. This one here is Steelcraft tool, made in Germany. Got a Crowder needle nose here. Got a pair of H. Boker Lyman's pliers, 6-inch, I think. Crescent Tool Company slip joint pliers. Go on to the bottom row. We got another pair of Utica, number 777. It's a fun number. Thin little needle nose. Little Crowder needle nose. Got another H. Boker Lyman's pliers. Got an Indestro slip joint, the thinner jaws here. We got another Utica diagonal cutters. And to top it off, we got a Pexto Lyman's pliers over here. I bought these. These were on a bargain table. Everything was $1. I bought so much stuff, the guy just threw a price at me. So I honestly, I think I got them for 50 to 75 cents. I don't know what they are. I'm guessing that for some kind of sheet metal work, auto body. I'm not sure. If you guys know, leave a comment below. They got a hole here. There's a hole here, a hole in the top. I don't know if these are parts, tools, scrap metal. I don't know. This, I think, is more for auto body work. It's got some curves on it. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a auto body professional, sheet metal professional. This stuff is not my normal trade. So let me know. Help me out. You guys might know a lot better than I am. So, on to wrenches. We got a Plum wrench here, 13/16. Williams, old double open. Got a Proto black oxide combination. Barkle Buffalo offset stubby box. Another William double open. Billings and Spencer, thin little tappet wrench. Barkle Buffalo double open. Billings angled wrench. Nice piece there. And a Billings and Spencer double open. I got 2 church keys. Again, this was the guy I had the bargain table and I threw everything. I actually made a whole bin full of stuff. And they were probably a quarter or something. They call them church keys. I just call them bottle openers. But these are both the Knickerbocker beer. So I know George from You Want to Watch collects these. George, if you don't have Knickerbocker, let me know. You might, because I know you have plenty of these. So let me know. Maybe I'll send them to you with some other stuff at some point. Got 2 wooden handle screwdrivers here. I never really was a fan, but recently I've been getting more into the wood handle stuff. So this one here is a Yankee. Hard to read. Stanley Yankee, I think. This one was a Proto. So it's a 9784 Proto, Los Angeles. It's got a unique handle on it. You know, it's kind of got this octagon formed wood with this little split line in the middle, the blue. Phillips, you know, interesting piece. I got this Crowder chisel. You know, of course, I'm a fan of Crowder tools. I haven't had one of their chisels before, so thought that was kind of cool. Got a Mayhew punch here and a Velacek punch. Do some hammers, and then we'll get to this guy. 2 Stanley hammers here. Kind of beat, but these were, again, at one of those bargain tables where it was just make a big pile and really, you know, pay pennies for it. So they call them 50 cents a piece. I figured the heads were worth that. You know, the handles are a little bit beat. This one's been shortened and somebody put this screw in here. This one's, you know, got some stuff going on there and might have been shortened. A little beat up here from somebody missing. You know, cheap, but good heads. Miller's Falls, that was a good one. Miller's Falls, this was a 8-ounce ball peen. Handle is a little dirty, but actually not that bad. That one actually could be cleaned up. I'm most excited about this one because I haven't had a Miller's Falls ball peen. So that was a new find. And now the thing a lot of guys are probably waiting for. I bought a bench vise. I don't normally pick up bench vices because you guys that are come here regularly know that we have vices, and stuff we don't keep I sell on eBay just out of convenience. And selling bench vices on eBay is not really a good game unless you get them really cheap, but shipping will kill you. So, but this is an Athol 613. It's got a 3-6 here. Yeah, I measured it's a 3-inch jaw. I'm wondering if the 6 is referring to how far you can open it. Maybe you can get to 6 inches. Not really, don't know too much about that. Only condition issue I could find so far is a little chip here on the end of the jaw. Not really a big deal for me. This is actually going to be a user. This is going to come home with me, and I'm going to put it in my shed. I really fell in love with the Athol vices because of this guy. This is Nick's vise. It was passed down to him from a family member. And this is the 421 or 424 and a half Athol vise. Now, I know these were made in Athol, Massachusetts, and that's where Ellis Sterrett is from. And I can't remember if this was just me thinking of things in my head or if I read it somewhere. Does anybody know if these are actually made by Ellis Sterrett? Because that would be cool to know. They're definitely great vices. I mean, they are beefy. They are serious. We have done a lot of work on this guy. They can take a beating, and Nick's family has treated this the same way for forever. So they got these nice big meatballs here. I like that. Nick's is a swivel base vise, and his will open up extremely wide. His top here is a 4.5 inch, but you could open this up, you know, an extensive amount. Really serious guy. So this is his little brother, and he's going to come home with me. Like I said, no swivel base, but I'm just doing basic stuff. You know, it's for a shed. And, you know, we got the markings here, Athol Manufacturing Co., Athol, Massachusetts, made in USA. There's some old paint on here, it's some dark gray. It's got 2 mounting points, you know, less than, actually 3. There's one behind the back here. So it'll be good enough. It's got the little meatball. So, like I said, it's a little brother. I just thought that was so cool. So, I'll probably clean it up. I'm not going to go nuts with the restoration. Maybe eventually if I run out of things to restore, but if you guys haven't noticed, I got a buying problem and everything could be restored. So, we'll see. And that's it for the tool haul today, guys. I don't think I missed anything. And yeah, we'll be back every week with more tool hauls every Saturday at 9 a.m. Check out our midweek videos. We do other tool related stuff. And if you guys have time, check out our eBay store. A few of these pieces will end up on there at some point. I'm definitely going to be keeping the Alligator wrench, the large adjustable wrenches, probably this guy, the bench vise, the oiler. But, you know, pliers, wrenches, some small stuff. You guys have seen it before. It'll be on the eBay store. All YouTubers get 10% off. That info is all down below. And before you guys go, I just want to give a shout out to Nick, the cameraman. You guys don't get to see him that often, but he is a huge part of this channel. And I want to promote his channel for a second. That is NK Landscaping LLC. That's our day-to-day business. We do landscape construction, which includes patios, retaining walls, drainage, light excavation, gravel driveways, and all that content is on YouTube. Nick has his own channel. It's in the link in the description down below. So if you guys like equipment and construction work, especially outdoor construction work, you like small equipment, mini excavators, check it out. We have a lot of content there. Nick does a great job filming those videos, and he posts videos every week just like me. So his videos come out on Wednesday. So appreciate all the support, guys. Definitely leave a comment below. Let us know what your favorite tool of the day is. I don't remember what I paid for everything, but I know, you know, 20 bucks, 20 bucks, 5 bucks, 20 something, 20 pliers, you know, a dollar or two. Wrenches, I never pick these wrenches up unless they're a dollar or less. Same thing with the wood handle screwdrivers, the chisels. Those hammers, I know I got them all for a dollar or two. Bench vise was 40 bucks. Guy was asking 50. I paid 40 because of the nick in the top. The oiler, I did actually pay $10, but that's a keeper. So that was kind of just because of condition. It was a good buy. So that's it for today. We'll see you guys on the next one, and have a great week, guys.